We are joined by Chloe Howard. She is the author of the book Stand Beautiful.
Chloe Howard has turned pain into triumph, and now she's sharing her story.
Do I have a voice? I felt ashamed of the part of me I had always been told made me special.
We got pregnant and we were really excited about obviously having a baby. And at my 20-week ultrasound, we found out that Chloe would have some serious issues. They saw a hole in her heart and they saw several deformities in her limbs.
We went on a journey of science that basically took us down a dark path of not knowing. We were even given the opportunity to interrupt the pregnancy, which to this day I can't even imagine what it would be like with us without Chloe. What kept us rooted was our belief that no matter what, we were going to have this little girl.
When she was actually born healthy and her heart was completely healed and she only had one clubfoot, it was like, wow, this whole new appreciation for this life that might not have been.
So as Chloe grew up, just life was normal. Surgeries became the new norm. And just the little cadence of her running through the house, whether they were hardwood floors or tile, you could hear the tuk 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 tuk. And just that was usually the sound of her foot in the cast. As she grew up, that's just how we said, this is how you were born. This is, you're beautiful just the way you are. And that seemed to be okay. And she was proud of her difference. And she would even say that it's kind of her superpower. But a lot of that changed when she went to high school.
So it was a Friday, and I had picked her up from school. And she was quiet. And on the way home, she said, hey, this weird thing happened to me at school today.
They told me to take off my shoe. And I didn't understand, it didn't make sense to me. I said, what? They asked again, Chloe, take off your shoe. I said, no, it's okay, I'm good. Take off your shoe. No.
I was restrained, and my sock and shoe were ripped off to expose my deformed foot. They gawked at me, as if I was a circus freak. I said no. I said no, I said no, I said no. And they didn't listen. They did it anyways. Revealed the part of me that I wanted to hide the most, and held it out for everyone to see.
And she would come to find out later, and even the police would tell her that she had been a victim of an assault.
What they don't tell you about being a victim is that whether you're being assaulted for your foot deformity, you're punched when you don't want to be punched, or touched when you don't want to be touched, it feels the same. Because sometimes what marks a victim is this feeling of guilt. I felt guilty because I felt like I had allowed it to happen.
So as a dad, you're watching her retreat, you're watching her go more and more into herself. And there were these moments where she would find joy, and the song Invisible by U2 was something that she had discovered and found. And she had a chance meeting with Bono.
I told him my story about the clubfoot and the assault. And he locked eyes with me and challenged me. Said that my voice matters. That when I speak for those who can't speak for themselves. Bono said in 2015 that the arc of the universe bends towards justice and love. He was quoting Martin Luther King Jr. But in these last couple years, I've come to recognize those words as truth. Because my message, Stand Beautiful, which is all about self-acceptance and love and anti-bullying and hope, is justice, is love. And the universe so aches for that right now.
Even though I was just a normal 16-year-old girl going through normal 16-year-old girl things, all of a sudden I found myself developing a desire to share my story and to share the Stand Beautiful message. And I realized that I wanted to change the world.
In the last couple of years, I've had the opportunity to travel abroad, to share my story and hear the stories of others. First, it was the Dominican Republic, Kenya, and then it was New Delhi, India, Guatemala, and then it was Australia. And the truth is, we aren't alone because there are people everywhere that understand, that feel our joys and feel our hurts. After my assault, I really was struggling with my foot. I didn't like it. I hated that it was attached to the bottom of my left leg. But I started taking a Sharpie and writing the word beautiful along my biggest scar. And in 2017, after my first international tour, I got the word beautiful in my own handwriting tattooed on that deformed foot. And now every single day I wake up and look down at that foot that was once broken, once twisted, is still covered in scars. I'm reminded that we have the power to choose to see ourselves as beautiful, as special, as valued, as worthy. Stand Beautiful started as a website. A single page that had a picture of my foot on it, some words that said Stand Beautiful. It became a dream, it became a reality. It was my own battle cry. But now I've come to recognize that Stand Beautiful is so much more than that. I've gotten the chance to publish 2 books. I talk about how differences aren't just okay, but should be celebrated. Stand Beautiful is a movement, a proclamation of worth and a new definition of beauty. It's still a battle cry. It's a fight for justice. And it's a song that is stuck in my head and has been for a long time. Stand beautiful when nothing makes sense and you can't find hope and you feel like you've lost everything that mattered. Stand beautiful when life is so hard. And then stand beautiful when life gets better.
1, 2, 3.
Say these words, we are going to remind ourselves of our worth, that we are resilient, that we have the power, the courage to say yes. So on 3, I stand beautiful. 1,